The 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 is the most powerful version of the Wrangler ever made, thanks to a feature that the Wrangler has never had before, which I'll get to in a second. So why don't you sit on that idea for a little bit. The Wrangler lineup has received a few small but significant updates for 2024, and the first one I'm sure you noticed is the grille, which is narrower than it used to be. But take a closer look. Instead of those big slats between its signature 7 slots, it's pretty much all open right now. That improves cooling for its 470 horsepower, 392 cubic inch V8. And if you need to pull something that's in front of it, the new grille opened up room for a factory installed Warn winch that's been crash tested with the truck and can lug up to 8,000 pounds. Ford put something like that on the Bronco a couple of years ago, so competition is definitely improving this 4x4 SUV breed. In fact, Jeep also added side curtain airbags for the first time, which is another feature that you can get on the Bronco. Along with that, the interior gets a new 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system that brings this old-looking truck a little further into the 21st century. The Rubicon 392 comes standard with the Wrangler's Extreme 35-inch wheel and tire package with beadlock capable wheels, and sends its 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque to those wheels through an 8-speed automatic transmission and a Select-Track 4x4 system with a full-time all-wheel drive setting, plus a 2-speed transfer case and locking front and rear differentials. Now at this point you may be thinking, why is he making such a big deal about this being the most powerful Wrangler ever? The 392 first came out in 2021 with exactly the same power. Well, that's because for 2024, the Wrangler is available for the first time with power seats, 12-way adjustability. Get it? The power seats add more power? All right, you may think that's a bad joke, but the good thing is they're also waterproof, which could come in handy because the Rubicon 392 is rated to ford through 34 inches of water. And if you are driving through deep water and create a bow wave, this also has Jeep's HydroGlide air intake system, which can filter 15 gallons of water a minute away from the engine so it doesn't get bogged down. Even with the front power seat set as far back as it can go, this does very well on my 6'1" scooch test, where I see if I can fit behind myself with the front seat like I like it. Which brings us to an interesting edition of the Caffeina cup and bottle holder count, brought to you by Caffeina caffeinated water. So the Wrangler's removable doors don't have bottle holders, but they do have these nets that you can put plenty of bottles in. It just won't stand up straight while you're driving. But there are 2 cup holders between the front seats. And check this out. You pull down the center seat in the back, you'll find that the cup holders are in the back of the headrest, which you can then slide forward. Caffeina! Buy it on Amazon using the link in the description below. Now, one thing about the Wrangler, all of its engines are more than capable of doing some hardcore off-roading, and you really don't need this monster V8. But with all that torque, you can basically just look at the gas pedal and go chugging along. Of course, standing on it is a little more interesting. This will do 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds and a quarter mile in about 13. And it's certainly as fast as anything you ever need on the dirt. But for when you're going slower, it does have a detachable front sway bar for added articulation. If you like to go on long distance off-road excursions, you might want to think about checking out the Rubicon 4xe plug-in hybrid, because this one only gets 14 miles per gallon combined, and that's on the road. Considering Dodge is discontinuing its V8 muscle cars at the end of this year, and Jeep already has a twin turbocharged inline 6-cylinder motor that's more powerful than this one, I'm kind of surprised it's still making the Rubicon 392. But when push comes to shove, nothing shoves you like a V8. Of course, they're not exactly giving these away. The Rubicon 392 starts around 90 grand, and you can option it up over 100 grand, but comes pretty well equipped other than that winch which is a $2,000 option. Comes with blind spot warning system, adaptive cruise control, and one of my favorite features on an off-roader, a forward-facing camera that's great when you're by yourself. And this one's even got a way to wash it. One thing the 2024 Wrangler does not have is an old school whip antenna. They've replaced it with one embedded in that fancy new windshield. So you don't have to worry about getting caught in low-lying branches or taking it off before you go in the car wash. And if you do use this as it should be, you'll be going to a lot of car washes.